where brevity is paramount.
Hello and welcome to episode 7 of Chet and John's Reassuringly Finite Gaming Playlist. My name is John Denton and with me as always is Chet Roivas.
Wapnin.
So if you've not heard the podcast before, it's really simple. We both reel off a list of the 10 games we played the most that week. Starting at 10, finishing at 1, 10 being the game we played the least, 1 being the game we played the most. And because we're both lucky enough to work in the video games industry, most of the stuff we'll be talking about will be current or might not even be out yet, but that doesn't discount anything. It could be anything. So let's get cracking. Enough wittering. What's your number 10, Chet?
My number 10 is Hero Academy on the iOS.
You did it?
Finally, yeah. I can't quite put my finger on what was so off-putting about it. Every time I turn it on in order to have a look at it, I wanted to just switch it off again. Maybe it's the whole sort of vaguely elvish, Lord of the Rings-ish, kind of atmosphere.
Yeah, that's what put me off at first as well.
Yeah, I'm halfway through 2 games simultaneously, and yeah, it's starting to get its fangs in already. It's clearly very good.
Yeah, it's a really well made, simple strategy game from people who've been doing it forever.
I don't know. The Advance Wars comparison I don't think was particularly right. If you're going to compare it to anything, compare it to the other one.
Fire Emblem.
Yeah, it's much more like Fire Emblem. I am worried about how easy is it to come to a stalemate?
I've not had a stalemate.
Okay.
Every game's finished. Sometimes you get right down to the wire and you've only got a few units left, but every game I've had has been reasonably decisive.
Okay, cool. Well, one of the mates I'm playing with is all about taking a step in, having a hack, stepping back. So I feel like we're just... and then rehealing. But yeah, I'm going to play it properly this week, probably, and yeah.
You do eventually run out of troops, so you can't do that forever.
Okay, well, if they don't die and you keep refreshing them, it's already been going on for too long, it feels like. But yeah, it's good. I'm going to play it some more
Smash
this week.
them up.
Smash
them up.
Done. It's on the cards, boy.
Right, my number 10 is also an iPhone game. It's what I was playing last week as well, Gridrunner.
Oh, yeah.
That really daft Jeff Minter shooter that I just stick on whenever I've got a spare 20 seconds because it doesn't take very long to play. Still brilliantly designed. I like the way it goes, thank you. I've been saying that a lot to myself this week. And yeah, I recommend it. I think it's 69p. As I always say, you can't really go wrong. It might be the best one of its kind on the thing because it's so well suited to the device as opposed to the bigger 2D shooters, which are much better on a home console. Really,
is it better than Journey though?
Is it better than Journey?
Isn't that why you started playing it? You put out a tweet saying Journey.
Oh God, yeah. No, God no.
I was going to say.
I think the guy was winding me up. Comparing it to is almost pointless, but it's certainly worth playing.
Okay, cool. My number 9 is Rhythm Thief and the Emperor's Treasure on the Nintendo 3DS. Have you played it? There's the free demo.
Oh, no, I haven't.
Oh, download it. I don't know if it's... I found this little QR symbol that you take a snapshot of it to download it. I don't know if you have to do that. You can probably just download it.
Where did you find that?
I can't remember. I got it in an email, so from Nintendo.
Oh, okay.
But that's a quick way of downloading it. But it should be on the store anyway. Really, really, really promising. It's basically... It's Elite Beta agents, but with a weird story, and they've really, really clearly tried to make it look like Professor Layton.
Right.
It doesn't play anything like that. I don't know where there's 3 levels you get given. They're all rhythm action, rhythm based, really fun, really charming. It could be massive. That I say massive. Those games are never massive, but I think. That demo does it justice, and you should.
What's it called again?
It's called Rhythm Thief and the Emperor's Treasure. I think they're just referring to it as Rhythm Thief. It's out soon, but the demo definitely worth doing.
Is it all in 3D and everything? Proper 3DS stuff?
Yeah, it looks really good, and it utilises the screen and the buttons, and it's one of those. It's like a mini game. They're all mini games essentially, but I don't know. They're just fun.
It sounds alright. Yeah, I'll check that out. I hadn't even heard of it.
Yeah.
Nice. Right, my number 9 is a game called Yeti Hunter.
Nice.
On the PC. It's a free downloadable game from Vlambeer, the people that did Super Crate Box, and is that what it's called? My mind's gone blank.
Super Quake Box?
Crate.
Yeah,
my mind's gone blank. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called anyway. I read about it on Hookshot. It's fucking weird. I mean, it's like a Commodore 64. Not even that. It's like a what was the computer before that? Fucking shit Atari or something like that.
Like a 2600?
Yeah, but like an FPS where you go through these woods, hunting a Yeti, I presume. The music's kind of cool, it's like synthy music. It's kind of foreboding, and then I got stuck up a tree, and then I thought it crashed, and it made no sense. So
it's really that it looks that dated though. Like
yeah. I mean, proper dated.
Okay.
I kind of see what they're going for. You've got a gun and you can sort of bring up the sights and shoot it, but when you do, the music changes to dum da dum da dum da dum dum. You think, right, something's going to happen, but it doesn't. I guess that's the point. And I was kind of getting into the foreboding atmosphere. Then I got stuck up a tree, which is apparently part of it. But I was there for about 4 minutes, and I thought, what the fuck am I doing with my life? And so I went back onto the website to check what I was doing, put a comment, and someone else put, reading README files is fun. And I thought, he's fucking trying to bitch me out, trying to say that I should have read the instructions. So, yeah, I just quit playing.
Okay.
No need to be like that.
I'll take it you're not going to rush back to it.
That wasn't anyone on staff, by the way. That was just some random commenter.
Okay. You're not going to rush back to it, though?
No, I don't need to hunt Yetis that badly.
Yeah, genuine. Okay, my number 8 is Mario Kart Super Circuit on the 3DS by way of GBA, the one of those freebies we got given just before Christmas. I always thought Super Circuit was the best Mario Kart ever, and I've maintained it until now, and I still maintain it, but I don't know whether it's the port they've done. Have you tried it on the 3DS?
I tried one track briefly, but it was about the same week that I bought the proper Mario Kart, so I was like, what am I doing?
Yeah, it's unplayable, though. I mean, it looks terrible, but then GBA games look terrible, but the frame rate's rubbish, the controls don't feel right. I don't remember it controlling like that. Maybe I've become too accustomed to how the Mario Karts play now, but I couldn't play it.
That's a shame.
Well, yeah, I just don't know whether that was just because it was a different game back then, or the port's rubbish. I couldn't figure it out.
The other ports have been good, though.
Yeah, I've played Metroid and
games.
Yeah, that's true. But then again, F-Zero works as well, so maybe it's just the fact that it wasn't as great as I thought. But it's not. It's not. Yeah, it's not Mario Kart 7.
No, certainly not.
Yeah,
like I say, I played it for one track, and I thought I might as well just go back to Mario Kart 7. I appreciate that they've done this, but I'm only kidding myself if I actually want to play this. Of course I don't.
Yeah, I would have done if it felt like I remember it, and it doesn't. So,
Shatner. Talking of number 8, talking of racing games, my number 8 is WipEout 2048.
Oh.
I'm almost done with it now. It's really lost its magic for me about 2/3 of the way through. I loved it at first. I don't know if it was just the kind of new console honeymoon period or whether it was just the game. A bit of both, I'd say. But as it's got faster and harder to control, and nobody else on my friends list has got as far as me, it seems. So I've got no times to compare it to apart from like the world leaderboard times. That's pointless. Just kind of lost its sheen a little bit. I don't know if I'll bother ploughing all the way through to the end because it's only going to get more frustrating. But still, as we've said almost every week, it's still a very well-made game. Yeah,
I mean, I Wipeout games are all great, but I'm never really that compelled to play them. Not for prolonged periods, anyway.
I do want them to make a new F-Zero now.
Oh, I'd like a bit. F-Zero, I've always felt differently about F-Zero. Whether you'd say it was better, I don't know, but I've loved every F-Zero game, even the GameCube one, which some people thought was pretty shoddy. I thought it was quality.
I liked the GameCube one, but I didn't like it as much as the N64 one, which is my all-time boy.
That was, I was unbeatable in that. Unbeatable.
Don't know about that.
Yeah.
Don't know about that.
Yeah. Okay, right, my number 7, Mario Kart 7. I was stuck on a train, so I've been playing the 3DS loads. I still think it's tremendous, but it seems like yet another step that a Nintendo have taken into an area where they're trying to find the perfect balance between Mario Kart Wii, which was completely different from what, say, the SNES one was or the N64 one, but they seem to be trying to find the perfect balance in the middle. I think this is almost there, but there are just still too many instances where you get cunted over. But having said that, that's Mario Kart, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Especially modern day Mario Kart, blue shell and all that. But without the blue shell, the game would, especially online, would just be boring because you'd never be able to catch anyone who was, spent their life studying every single intricate detail of every track.
I've been in that situation where someone's been that far ahead and I've seen blue shells flying overhead and, nothing. So there are people out there that,
There's always going to be.
That's always the way, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like Mario Kart 7. I always take those games with a pinch of salt. I don't care necessarily. I love to win, but if I don't, I just go, it's Mario Kart. It doesn't really bother me. And the race is always quite tight. Problem with playing online in that game, I think it's just symptomatic of any online game that doesn't have a sense of progression these days after Call of Duty. You just feel after a little while like, what am I playing it for? Unless you can hook up with lots of people that you know and see their little funny me's driving about. Which that's just a problem indicative of online racing for me. Overall, after a while, I just feel like I'm not achieving anything.
Yeah, it feels like every Mario Kart they're trying to find a new formula when it was perfect initially. And although I'll give the Wii version its due, that was fun. And I suppose if you've got kids, it must be great to sit down and play that and know that they can sort of have a decent crack against you, which I suppose was probably the aim. But this is sort of halfway between that, and I'd still rather have a sequel to the SNES one, man. That's or the N64 one, rather. There's something a little bit hardcore wouldn't go amiss.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but I just don't. I think the days of that series being hardcore are long gone, aren't they?
You're probably right.
Right, my number 7 is a game that's probably on your list, Sine Mora, or Sine Mora, or I'm going to call it Sine Mora.
Yeah.
I only played the trial. I'm not a huge shmup guy because I think I'm in a position where people show me games that are supposedly great, and I'm sure they are, but I haven't got to that point. I haven't climbed the appropriate ladders to get to the point where I can understand that game, if that makes any sense.
Right.
I haven't played the 3 or 4 or 5 games that I need to be able to get to the level where I can play those top-end cave shooters. So to me, they're unplayable. This felt like a good entry point. The fact that it had the kind of beginner's mode, which was still, it wasn't easy. I was still having to dodge a lot of bullets and concentrate a hell of a lot to be able to do anything. And the fact that I could then graduate to the tougher mode, coupled with the fact that it has that cool soundtrack, that kind of sort of downbeat ambient techno, plus the astonishingly good visuals. Really, I was tempted to get the full thing, and I'm sure I will once I got a bit of time cleared up in my schedule. But I've been hearing a lot of very, very positive things about it from people who know a hell of a lot more about the genre than I do.
Yeah. Well, it's actually my number 6. I've had a really funny reaction to it. When I first saw that first announced trailer on my phone, I was in bed and I watched it on my phone. And I don't know if it had been announced prior to that, but that's the first time I was made aware from it. I didn't sleep. That's how pumped I was for it. And the problem with shooters is that 9 out of 10 shooters, they stretch a couple of really, really threadbare ideas across the whole thing. And a good shooter will pack so many in that at first you don't know how to deal with it. And that was my reaction to this. I was like, how does that how can you have to balance. You have to make sure that you use things, use your the time slow down thing. You can't... I'm doing such a shit job of explaining it. There's so much to take in. And I played it where I sat down, I'm going to love this straight away. I've got 2 hours, when in reality I need to sit down and give it a little bit more than that. But I have no doubt next week I'm going to be madly in love with it. So it's it just kicked off badly. But there's so much going on that seems like genius already.
Right, so you are into it?
No. It left me completely cold, but it's because at first I didn't understand. I was just thinking, why aren't I liking this? Is it like just hyped? But after a while I realised it's because I didn't leave my shooters. I tend to sit down and just sort of soak them up, spend real time on them. This one I kind of jumped in and was expecting it to be brilliant and to grab me straight away, and it's not. There's so much more to it than that, and it's just working out how the different mechanics sort of play off each other. You can't just, you have to strategize constantly, and I wasn't ready for that, so it's my bad. Next week I'm going to be madly in love with it, I have no doubt.
Okay, I gotcha. Well, yeah, I'll probably stick with it now I've got a bit of time freed up. It's about time that I got back into that. It's been about 20 years. So, yeah, It's about time since I used to play those types of games. Since they were just a normal genre, they weren't niche.
Yeah,
like Axelay and UN Squadron, all the bad boys back in the day.
Genuine.
Number 6 is Lumines Electronic Sympathy.
Finally.
Symphony, yes. Finally, yeah. A nice deal online. Took into my hands. It nearly broke my PS Vita just now. Had to restore the entire system. So previous thoughts that Sony had sorted themselves out with regards to updates and hardware that actually works, perhaps not the case, but yeah. I mean, what can you say that we haven't said already? It just seems marvellous. It's nice to start it from the proper beginning instead of the demo beginning, which I played about 10 times. I can't wait to sit there with my 5.1 headphones on, probably in the dark, and really lose myself in it. I still haven't had the full go where you run out of time and die or whatever.
Yeah, you have to set
Yeah.
aside serious time, though. Those games have been on for fucking ages.
Exactly. So I'll probably do that after recording and really let it soak in. And I mean, something you said the other week where you felt like you'd gone somewhere after you played it.
Yeah, it's weird, that.
It's sort of interesting that the main game mode is called Voyage as opposed to just single player or campaign.
Yeah.
It seems like that's almost an intention of theirs, that they want to take you on a trip.
Oh yeah, no, I've got no doubt. It's it makes me wish I had a PS Vita permanently, which I don't, unfortunately.
But I'm very excited to get stuck back in.
Sweet. Well, it's the best purchase you'll ever make on the PS Vita, I dare say.
I'm glad I went for that instead of Uncharted, which is...
That's worth picking up. It's worth picking up at some point. It's worth picking up.
I can see me enjoying it for a couple of hours and then just being like feeling like a trudge.
Yeah, you just like, I could be playing this on a big screen. You know, you could just go back and play. I mean, I'd rather go. But if someone had the option to play that again, or play through Uncharted 2 again, even play through that on the first time, I'll tell you, go for Uncharted 2 again. That needs... it's a slightly inferior game that's very good in comparison to almost everything else on the Vita.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. Maybe one day.
Yeah. Okay, my number 5 is Zombie Highway. I played it on the iPad, it's also out on the iPhone. You played it?
No, not heard of Zombie Highway.
Freebie. A really substantial freebie. You're driving down a road, zombies jump on, you've got a limited amount of ammo, you can either shoot them off or you can nudge them off by hitting the sides of other cars. And it's very, very... If you lean too far in and go for a nudge and you end up hitting the front of your bumper on the car that you're passing by, it's game over. Ridiculously simple and free, but it made me think that it says so much about... At the moment, everybody's worried about the future of home consoles, and there are a million theories flying around, but the fact that a free game is that substantial, that entertaining, and it's just in your pocket and it's free, that can't not be the main reason behind it. Because if you're not a proper gamer and you don't take video games really seriously, or they're not a hobby, or most gamers pick up 3 or 4 games a year, I think. The fact that this is in your pocket for nothing, awesome.
It's game changer, isn't it?
Yeah, but that was remarkable because I got recommended it, and normally I was like, I take all iOS recommendations with a pinch of salt, but I was playing it expecting to turn it on for 2 minutes. I turned it on and was playing it for half an hour plus.
And you can do that with so many different things week in, week out. It's a very interesting game changer, and there's God knows what it's going to look like in 2 years.
Yeah.
The landscape, especially with potentially new consoles coming out, and this free-to-play freemium system getting stronger and stronger, and the stuff becoming more substantial, like you say. Yeah. Never really saw it coming a few years ago.
No, me neither. I mean, I never thought that I would be captivated for any length of time by a game on your phone, but the technology's there. There's some talented people working on it, so yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's worth a download. That anyway.
Another iOS game, a game called Madcoaster. Not exactly a highlight for talent, particularly, but a perfectly fine endless game. Is that what they call them? Endless games? That's what I call them. Like Cannabolt and Temple Run and all those games where you just keep going.
Does Temple Run not have an ending?
No, I don't think so.
I was totally unaware of that.
But this one, you are a roller coaster, and it's basically like the Donkey Kong Country minecart levels. That's the best way of describing it.
That sounds great.
You tap the screen to make your roller coaster jump, and you can swipe the screen to make it go down to another track below. And you're just going as long as you can, picking up coins. The weird thing about it is it actively encourages you to murder animals. There's birds all over the place, and instead of dodging them, you have to smash them out the sky into a bloody mess, and you get points for doing that. And it sort of gets really excited. You go, you killed a rare bird. That's a good thing, is it, all of a sudden?
Blimey.
And there's like other endangered animals, like gorillas, just on the track. Poof, dead. But there's no real explanation behind it. Yeah, it's like nice and bright and bold and fun. It's difficult to recommend it above any of the other ones of those games. It's probably not as good as Jetpack Joyride or Cannonbolt. It's not as stylish as Cannonbolt, but yeah, it's perfectly fun and well made. It's just how much patience have you got for all these games that ultimately you're not really getting anywhere with your life if you're playing them.
Most people don't want that though. They want a way to kill 10 minutes on a pass.
Well, that's fine. Yeah, and I'm not going to dispute their tastes. However, as a man who's played a fair few of these ones now, it's about time that someone stepped up and did something a bit interesting with it, I think.
Genuine. Was it free, that one?
No, it's standard $1, whatever it is, 69p.
Yeah, okay, cool. Okay, my number 4 is Asura's Wrath. I came in from work knackered, sat down on the couch, and to put off cooking dinner, I just turned my Xbox on. I couldn't be bothered to move. The disc in the disc tray was Asura's Wrath, so I just started it again. And it's so addictive. That's one thing I've never said about it. It's so addictive. I was there, proper, like, one more go, and then I'll go, then I'll go. I was there for, it was 2 or 3 hours. I got 2 to 3 hours into the game before I said, right, I've got to stop. It's so... I find it such an addictive game. And that was with me skipping all the cutscenes.
Really? Just into the gameplay?
Yeah, ideally, I would have pulled my phone out and had a minute-long go on something, something on my phone. But that was in the distro. I thought, fuck it, I'll start it again. I wanted to start it again anyway. But because I just thought I was going to be there for a minute, I kept skipping all the cutscenes. But the gameplay it really is so refined, so satisfying.
So satisfying.
Yeah.
Yeah. The build-up to the burst and then the release is pure catharsis. I love it.
Yeah.
Have you seen the DLC that's coming out for it?
No, I'm happy. Is it? It's not free, is it?
No. They've done one this week, which came out today, actually. I should have picked it up. It's like a little couple of in-between existing chapters thing. Seems a bit, not sure about that. And then they're doing like 4 proper chapters in a couple of weeks to sell the true ending of Asura's Wrath for like a $5. So I'm definitely going to get stuck in with that. And then there's one where you fight Ryu from Street Fighter and Akuma.
Oh.
And it turns into the Street Fighter 4 engine and it turns into a side-on scrapper.
No, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, there's like a trailer for all of it on the internet, like all the DLC that's coming. Definitely check it out. Apparently it's done better than Syndicate. That's what I read. So it's done some numbers somewhere.
Well, it deserves to.
It does. It really does.
It really does. Just, it's so good. I'm definitely, I'm a shoo-in for that DLC. That just sounds terrific. I wouldn't do it even if it wasn't as sort of, the real ending and Street Fighter 3, that's a little bit cuntish because that's Capcom sort of bending over backwards to ensure that you pay for it. I'd get it anyway. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I just love the fact that something that creative and bizarre has still managed to get out with a decent budget in this day and age.
Yeah, no doubt. We won't see many more like it.
No, but I don't think there'll ever be another Asura's Wrath regardless of anything. Yeah. Talking of Capcom, my number 4 is Street Fighter Cross Tekken. I was asked by a magazine to produce some tips and best tag teams and stuff. So I thought I'd better get stuck back in. I'm still really disappointed by the state of the online. The sound bugs are still there, and I find it unplayable.
Just because of that?
Yeah, because you don't know which hits are connecting and which hits are blocked, and it's so distracting for me that I can't get into any sort of rhythm. Add to the fact that you can get smacked up in the air and juggled about for ages, which has always been the thing I've hated about Tekken when played at any sort of decent level. I found it extremely frustrating. It just made me want to go and play Street Fighter 4. Again, we said it before in a previous podcast, this is a game where I need to play it with your good self or someone else of a similar level and learn it together, and then just forget about how it's supposed to be played, forget about all these high-level players and their funny graphs. Full respect to them, that they're excellent and that's what they should do, but I can't play like that. I don't have the time or the skill, so I want to just get stuck in in a way that suits me, in a way that I've played fighting games since I was fucking 10 years old.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a price drop or something, I know a handful of my friends that invest. So, providing there's in the summer or something when there's fuck all else out, if that happens, I look forward to really, really going to town on it because I did think it was exceptionally good, considering it. I was not expecting it to be that good, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. I do think it's an exceptionally good game, but it's hard to test that out when the only people you can play are online and the online's fucked up.
Yeah. Did you play as the transvestite with the pink hair?
Poison.
Is that its
name? I think so.
Okay. All right. She's my favourite character anyway.
You always pick weird, long-haired, pink-haired characters.
Yeah, Sea Viper. I'll always have a thing for Sea Viper. She's protecting her child. She's trying to raise. Was she trying to raise money? But yeah, she's a young single mother, so she's got my respect. The pink transvestite. I just think her moves are funny.
You're weird.
Maybe. Okay, my number 3, Battlefield 3.
Battlefield 3.
Yeah. No. What? I mean, what can I say? The only thing that's getting more and more annoying, and as a gigantic fan, I should really read through the list of details for the upcoming patch. I haven't because I'm an idiot, but I hope they fix the matchmaking. The matchmaking is just, it doesn't work. And the other
Is it still fucked?
Yeah. Well,
what the fuck?
It's still fucked in the way that you sort of join as a squad and then 2 of you are on the different team, 1 of you gets booted out, all that shit. But on the few occasions the other night we managed to get into a game, our whole team had apparently just started playing it, and everyone else on the other team were like sickening numbers, man, like 60. They sort of, once you've gone over, I don't know if they call it prestiging, but once you get that little gold shield, black shield, whatever the fuck it is, we were constantly, no matter how many times we bounced out of a game and then rejoined a different server, we were against teams that had been playing it. They'd probably played it 6 or 7 times as much as we had, and we've played it a fuck of a lot. And that's the first time I can remember so far when we've just said, should we call it a night? Because we're just getting annihilated repeatedly by these just non-stop people.
So they've actually managed to make the matchmaking worse.
It was always that bad, but now it's been out for so long that there are people who just like, I don't know how they've got the time.
I've got it.
No, it's just that. But anyway, that's significant because that's the first time we've all collectively said, should we can it? And we did.
How do you think these people that play games that much have the stomach for it? I mean, I understand how you could possibly have the time if you don't have a job or whatever your situation is. There are enough hours in the day should you want to do that. But I just don't know how anyone can have the stomach for sitting in a room and playing video games for that long. And this is coming from a guy who's played a fair few video games and spent way, way, way too many hours. But I always hark back to that time where we played Halo 2 for like 14 straight hours or something ridiculous like that many years ago. And that was one of the most ill I've ever felt afterwards. And I had dreams of being sworded in the face where I had a migraine. I thought of doing it every day.
Yeah. But to be fair, I did that many times. That was a one-off for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Me and a few of my lot did that more than once on Halo 2. And that's when I think, whenever I see that symbol, I mean, like 70 or something we saw the other day, and the amount of hours, the hundreds of hours that must have taken, just beggars belief. And whenever I see that, I'm like, I picture comic book guy from The Simpsons, and all my mates say, no, I bet he's just some little kid, man. And it probably is that, because if I GoldenEye, Halo 2, the amount of hours me and my friends put into them, not to the same degree, but I can understand the appeal there to some level.
Yeah, I guess so. The little kid thing. Yeah, you do have a lot more time when you're
loads of spare time, and if he's it is very addictive. Battlefield.
Yeah. What's it doing to your brain? Anyway,
who knows?
Yeah, my number 3 is Angry Birds Space. I just thought, so my professional duty to play it, I think, just because it's that big a deal. And do you know what? It's a hell of a lot better than Angry Birds. It's kind of like Angry Birds meets Mario Galaxy.
Whoa.
I mean, don't take that too far. That's just sort of very basic explanation. It's obviously in space, and all the puzzles, if you can call them that, are based around orbital physics. So you're sort of shooting from one orbit through space, which has no gravity, into another orbit, which has its own gravity. and yeah, some of it's really, really clever. It feels like a proper sequel, not just another bunch of levels. It's like a completely new game. The problems I have with Angry Birds are still there, that it's quite trial and error, but it's fucking rammed with ideas. And it's easy to hate Angry Birds, but I was pretty damn impressed, and I'll keep playing it. It's just rammed with ideas, and they could have fucking churned out any old shit, and people would have lapped it up.
Yeah.
And they've gone to town, and I don't think they could have made a better sequel. Cleverer sequel.
Wow, okay. How much is it?
69p.
Wow, fair play.
Yeah.
Okay, good for them, because considering the weight of expectation, I say weight of expectation, I mean, people love Angry Birds so much. I never really saw the appeal, but people love it so much that the temptation to just do more maps must have been amazingly tempting.
Yeah. But no, they've made a proper game. It's a better game. Smarter game. And yeah, fair play to them.
Yeah.
There's still better games on the iPhone, because I don't like how trial and error it is. But I mean, you can bitch and bitch and bitch about Angry Birds, but at the end of the day, it has only ever cost less than £1.
Yeah.
And it's, even if you only played it for an hour and a half, then got fed up with it, that's still probably worth it.
For 69p, yeah, it's worth less than an hour, really.
I hate talking about the price too much in iPhone games, because you can eventually say that about any old shit that gets released on the store, but in that game in particular, because there's been so much negativity around it in smarter gaming circles, say, ultimately, it is only 69p. I bought a chocolate bar for 73p when I was in town earlier. Angry Birds was better.
Fair play. All right, my number 2, FIFA Street.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, still love it. Still love the campaign. The Globetrotting campaign is superb. But I had a mate come around after the pub the other day, and we stuck it on, and we were doing some local 2-player. And after that night, it occurred to me what a massive oversight the fact that Last Man Standing isn't online. You can do it local. You can do it. You can do it obviously in the campaign, but the fact that mode's not online just like
is it not online? I didn't know that.
Makes me want to tear my hair out, because that's all I play. We were like leaping up and down, screaming, like just it's one of those modes that's just like bragging rights coupled with just amazing shit happening. You played that in the campaign, right? Where every time you score, you lose a teammate.
Played it plenty. Yeah, we should explain it though, that every time you score, the other team loses a player. Yeah. That's right, isn't it?
Yes. So it can come down to it's one versus that. That's the shittest thing I've ever said. That's the description's all you need. I don't know why I'm still talking. It's amazing. And anyway, as much as I love the game, the fact that that's not an online mode is just criminal, because it's so fun.
Yeah, like I said, I had no idea. That is the best mode in the game.
Yeah, disappointing.
It's a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Oh, what a shame.
Yes.
FIFA Street. It's fun, isn't it?
Yes.
It's done very well, unsurprisingly.
Yeah, I like it. Did you see the what they announced today, the expansion pack?
Yeah, in a weird way, I was a little bit disappointed by that, and this might be the fact that, in all honesty, I haven't had to spend out on every single FIFA game over the years just due to the job, so my opinion's slightly skewed probably. But those summer tournament games always felt like the time where the sort of B team had a chance to express themselves and try out new ideas, which ended up, the best ones would always end up in a proper FIFA. And now if they're just doing it on the FIFA 12 engine with new kits and whatnot, you're probably not going to get all those tweaks, I'm assuming.
Was there much difference between FIFA 10 FIFA, which one was it, where the World Cup? When the hell was the World Cup? 2010?
2010, so it would have been FIFA 10, yeah. There were, for someone who plays as much FIFA and football games as I do, there were sort of significant noticeable differences to the engine. And again with the Euro 2008 one, which I think that's where the series really started to get good for me, was the Euro 2008. So yeah, a little bit disappointed by that, but
I've seen
it. See the other point of view.
Yeah, I've seen it in action. It's going to be substantial. I think it's going to be as much of a package as a piece of DLC can be. So I'm looking forward to it for sure. I don't know whether they're going to do much. They can't really tweak much apart from stuff on the peripherals. They're not going to. The game's going to play the same, I'm sure, but there's going to be a lot of stuff there to piss around with. It should be good.
Yeah, well, they don't fuck about when it comes to presentation on that game.
True.
Right, my number 2 is Draw Something, the game that everybody in the world's playing.
Wow.
It's become homework for me. It's become like work. I've had to stop playing it because, whenever you get a game like this, you go, right, I'm going to get 15 games on the go. I'm going to challenge all these people, everyone I've ever known. I'm going to start drawing pictures at them. And then a couple of days later, you're like, oh, fucking hell, I just can't be doing with drawing any more stupid pictures for anybody. So it's not the game's fault, it's my own stupid fault for trying to be too keen and too eager. I don't even need to talk about the game because I'm sure everybody's playing it. Yeah.
It's funny. Over the course of the last week, everyone I'm playing with has gradually just stopped playing. So now I've got like 6 games on the go, and people haven't played for the last couple of days. And I'm still playing Scrabble with friends with them. So they're still on their phones, but that's just lost its appeal. I wonder if the people who forked out all that money for that company are fucking thinking, oh shit, what a bad investment. Because it has lost favour with everyone I know who was madly in love with it 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it really has. Perhaps the fact that it's not competitive and you're playing sort of semi-cooperatively, there's no end game, there's no goal, and there's no bragging rights, no, competitive element to it.
I don't know. I mean, people are very fond of posting, how did my mate get this on Twitter and stuff like that. Look how my mate drew this. So, I mean, people are still liking it. But I'm playing against an absolute fucking maniac of a girl who, 9 times out of 10, she'll just write the word.
Why?
Do you know what I mean? It doesn't make any fucking sense. I mean,
I always wondered if anybody would do that.
Oh yeah, she's done it. She's not one of the people that has stopped playing instantly. She's a random opponent who won't go away. Maybe she just likes guessing.
Maybe this is the only positive thing in her whole life.
Oh yeah, we could speculate on that. Poor cow.
Maybe she's just an idiot.
Yeah, there's probably that. But maybe she just likes the guessing side of it. But I ain't gonna play her stupid game anymore. Deleted.
Oh, she's gone, is she?
Well, no, she's still there. But
the one shining beacon in her otherwise dark, lonely life, and you've just cut it off. You've shut it down.
I'm not the Samaritan, son.
No, that's very true. Right, what's your number 1 then?
Oh, what? What was that? Is that your number 1?
That's my number 2. What?
Oh, of course. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, we're doing it the other way around. Okay, my number 1, Ninja Gaiden 3.
Ryu Hayabusa.
Hayabusa. As I said, if you're suicidal and you want to sort of go in an inventive fashion, take a shot whenever the word Hayabusa is said in Ninja Gaiden 3, you'll be dead in about 20 minutes. I don't give a shit what anyone said. On the one hand, my attitude is fuck the haters, but if I was a fan
that's just your general attitude.
Yeah, that's very true. But with regards to this, if I was a fanatic about Ninja Gaiden, I would be so pissed off because it's just not a Ninja Gaiden game. It's not. It's the absolute epitome of mindlessness. It's a mindless action game, but it's a hell of a lot of fun. It's a complete lost pleasure. This is how I explain it to a mate. It's a lost pleasure now, unfortunately, but stumbling out of a pub and into a video shop and picking something that you know is just a load of crap, but you're going to enjoy the hell out of, it's exactly the same as that. It's just
You're talking about a film.
A film, sorry, yeah. That's how I compared it to someone. It is like a dumb bunch of stupid hokum. And the funny thing about it is that you could play it with a NES pad. Honestly, for the amount of for the way or the lack of a way that it uses 3-dimensional space, and the fact that you can basically just hammer one button the whole way through. It's so. I mean, it's just mindless. And it's goofy and it's stupid, but
why do you think they did that to it then?
Oh, it's simplified down. I mean, like you hit a certain number of enemies and you can press this super button and take everyone out. I mean, I don't know what they were thinking. They were clearly trying to sort of reach a mass audience, but when Ninja Gaiden was something so special and so completely of itself, there wasn't really many other games like it. It seems weird that they've done this, but they used the big name to try and sell a few copies. I really enjoyed it, and it made me laugh out loud properly once. Actually, it made me laugh a few times. All the villains are cockney. He's a bloody monster, says, like, they say that after they're hacked half to death. Killing is my business. I mean, it's proper funny, and I said this in my review. There was a bit where you're in the desert, and there's these guys on, like, sand buggies, and one of them got stuck. on a bit of scenery, and he was reversing, like Austin Powers style. And the guy, there was 2 goons on it, and the one on the back, I shot 3 crossbow bolts onto him, and just after the 3rd one hit, he says to the driver, "Cool, speed up, would you?" And I properly cracked up. It's full of stupid moments like that. But it's just fun. There's something empowering about running around and just hammering one. You don't. That's a little bit extreme. You won't get that far if you hammer one button. But it's a dumbass, stupid action game, and I really like it. Fuck the haters.
Fuck the haters.
Yeah, it's fun. I wouldn't recommend it to everybody, but if you can take, if you're unpretentious, if you're after something completely unpretentious and just goes for the jugular of this is going to entertain you, the fact that it's got the same Metacritic score as Operation Raccoon City makes me want to just dissolve into a load of fucking puke. I just want to yak on myself and then just sort of melt like the Wicked Witch of the West.
Alex Mack.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know. Alex Mack?
Yeah, it was when we were kids, but that's stuff that we don't talk about. So all gamers here, all games.
Okay, I thought you were referring to something else then, and I can't remember what it was, so fuck it. Yeah, Ninja Gaiden 3, I like it, fuck yeah.
Fuck the haters.
Exactly.
Talking of fucking the haters, my number 1, by a fucking country mile, is Mass Effect 3.
Oh, sweet.
We're doing a spoiler cast with the Joypod guys later today, in fact. So I've had to smash this game this week to get through it. That's not to say that I haven't played everything, because I have. I did every single side mission that was available to me. There may have been some stuff because all my people died in Mass Effect 2, so there may have been some stuff I missed out on there. But yeah, I smashed through it. And it's, you know what, I mean, you can talk about the ending all day, and I'm not going to spoil anything at all. But the game is fucking magnificent.
Yeah.
There are a few little bits here and there where some of the combat scenes drag a little too long, but they've refined the combat to the point where it's actually comparable to a really, really good third-person shooter these days. It's not as good as Gears for me, but that's considering how shit the first one was in terms of combat. And for me, the second one, the mechanics were there, but the level design was far too linear. Here you've got loads of opportunities to flank, loads of opportunities to take up higher ground. Simple stuff that you need in these sorts of games to make them exciting and varied. Couple that with it's fucking fantastic writing. The fact that you can get writing this good in a game is amazing. The fact that it's fucking different for every single person that plays it and has so many different variables, considering all the people that died in Mass Effect 2. I mean, there's stuff that was good. I was like, how the fuck did they make this? I don't understand how they made it. And I think if you're going to hate on certain things in the ending, which I'm not going to spoil, it would be... I've heard a lot of people say, I can't believe this has come out of professional writers. And it's just like, mate, for fuck's sake, the fact that the script and the writing and the dialogue and the characters are this good for something linear in a video game or anything else should be revered, let alone the fact that it's that, cross intertwining, variable, changing on your own actions and previous actions in previous games. They've smashed it out of the park, and they deserve a hell of a lot more credit than they've got, regardless of. And I got pissed off with what happened at the beginning when my face didn't import, and that sucked. But I got used to old Davey G in the end, Dave Gorman, and after 30 hours, it wasn't any sort of problem. And you can say this about Day One DLC, which I ended up buying, and it was a good piece of DLC. Probably should have been in the game, but the fucking thing's 30 hours of first-rate, high-level content. Yeah, you can bitch all day, but you're missing out.
Yeah, that's the worst part. Those people, you just want them to say, "Don't you appreciate everything else?" Like, if you don't like the ending. I mean, I didn't like the beginning. I have to say. I mean, imagine if there was I wonder if that would have got any. There would have been any traction on that at all if they'd have been kicking off about the beginning and they wanted the beginning changed. I suppose not. But yeah, it just makes me think, fuck, all right, be pissed off, but you must have thought the world of everything else, and that must give you... I don't know. It frustrates the hell out of me. It shouldn't, but they're apparently getting what they want now, so hey.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in a few weeks we can probably talk in a bit more detail about things. We don't want to spoil it for anybody who's not got that yet. It's only been out a month, but...
Yeah, I'm going to play it again in probably about a month when I've completely forgotten it, so...
Unfortunately, because of this thing that I'm doing later, I've had to go through and look at all the other stuff on YouTube that I didn't get. just so I've got a clearer idea of what I'm talking about. So I probably won't go through it for quite a while. But a fantastic experience and probably the best of the year. It's between that and Journey so far for me.
Yeah, no doubt. Catherine's up there. I'd add to that pot. And there was one other that I've already forgotten. That's my brain for you.
Never Dead.
Yeah, Hearty Heart. I do like that game. I'm going to get stuck back into that. No, Catherine and Darkness 2. Never Dead. Okay, right. Okay, I think that's us done for another week. Thanks for listening. We have come closer still to getting 20 games, seeing as there was hardly any crossover, and we're getting closer. We're not getting closer at all. We were somewhere approaching 40 minutes in duration. So yeah, we're going to keep trying to hit the nail on the head. Check us out on the website www.thefiniteplaylist.com. Our Twitters are on there and whatnot. Yeah, that's it. See you next week.
Fuck the haters.
Fuck the haters.
Watch yourselves! Here! Goddamn ninja!